Let me take you back to a harsh winter, where snow covered the forests of Finland, blanketing the land in an eerie quiet. It's 1939, and Finland is at war. On one side, the massive Soviet Red Army, with them huge numbers, endless machines and artillery, and on the other side, Finland's much smaller force, fighting for survival. In the heart of this snowy battlefield is a Finnish soldier. His name is Simo Häyhä, who would soon become known to his enemies as the White Death. Simo Häyhä was born on December 17, 1905, in a small Finnish village near the Russian border. Growing up on a farm, he learned to shoot from a young age. Life was rugged, and like many Finnish youths, Simo developed strong skills in shooting and outdoor survival. This rural, hunting-focused life honed his marksmanship and his resilience, and by his early 20s, Simo was a skilled sharpshooter, and in 1925 completed his military service. Afterwards, he joined the Finnish Civil Guard, where he continued to train, improving his skills with a rifle. When the Soviet Union invaded Finland in November 1939, Simo was called to serve. Assigned to the 6th Company of Infantry Regiment 34, he operated in the dense forests of Kolla, a key battleground. Here, he used his extensive knowledge of the landscape to his advantage, knowing every tree, every snowdrift, and how to blend in completely with his surroundings. The winter war was brutal. Temperatures could drop as low as minus 40 degrees Celsius. But this was Simo's element. Wrapped in his white winter camouflage, he moved through the snowy terrain like a ghost. His rifle of choice was a Finnish M28-30, a modified version of the Soviet Mosin Nagant. Many snipers use scopes to aid in their vision, but not Simo. He relied on iron sights alone. Fearing the glare from the telescopic sight might give him away, with iron sights he kept a low profile and avoided issues of fogging that came with scopes in such extreme temperatures. Simo's success came from more than just a steady hand. He had a unique approach to combat. Before taking a shot, he would carefully set up his position. He built snowbanks around himself, not only to blend into the snowy landscape, but to suppress the blast from his rifle's muzzle. He even compressed the snow in front of his rifle to prevent it from scattering, which would give away his position. For hours, sometimes even a day, he would lie in wait, unmoving, blending seamlessly into the snow. In those forests, the Soviet soldiers began to notice something strange. Men were vanishing, being picked off one by one. Who was doing this? Soviet soldiers couldn't see him. They'd scanned the forest, looking for any movement, but Simo was incredibly disciplined. He earned the nickname the White Death, because no one saw him, only the white of the snow, and then a gunshot, then a drop, and normally, you either fled or died. Simo had even more tricks up his sleeve to stay concealed. He would even hold snow in his mouth, cooling his breath so it wouldn't create visible vapour in the cold air. Imagine laying in the snow, the cold, perfectly still, for hours. But for Simo, this was part of his duty, part of his fight to protect his homeland. In his career as a sniper, Simo recorded an astonishing 500 confirmed kills. And these are just the confirmed kills. Some sources suggest his true number could even be higher, with hundreds more killed using his Suomi KP-31 submachine gun. But with his rifle alone, he averaged around 5 kills per day during the Winter War. For the Soviet troops, venturing into the forests of Kolla became an act of sheer terror. They were up against a master marksman who seemed almost supernatural in his combat abilities. As Simo's legend grew, the Soviets grew desperate to stop him. They launched specific missions to eliminate him. They sent counter-snipers, and even ordered artillery and mortar strikes aimed at his last known positions, trying to flush him out. But every time, Simo managed to evade them, moving with calculated stealth through the snow and the trees. At one point, the Soviets dedicated a large assault, bringing in multiple snipers specifically to hunt down the White Death. But Simo killed several of these snipers in turn. Soviet soldiers began to avoid entering certain parts of the forest altogether, terrified of crossing paths with him. Simo's effectiveness in combat had reached a point where it not only impacted the Soviet strategy, but also their morale. Psychologically, he was breaking the troops before they even entered battle against him. In March 1940, just a week before the Winter War concluded, Simo's luck finally ran out. A Soviet soldier fired an explosive round that struck him in the face, shattering his jaw and disfiguring him badly. Simo was found unconscious, bleeding in the snow. His fellow soldiers initially believed him dead, but he was actually alive. He was transported to a field hospital where he remained unconscious for days, regaining consciousness on March 13, 1940, the very day that Finland and the Soviet Union agreed to a ceasefire. His luck had obviously returned. His injuries were very severe, and he underwent extensive surgeries to repair the damage. Though he was left permanently scarred, Simo's survival after such an injury added to his legend. Even gravely wounded, he lived on, a symbol of Finnish resilience and their sheer ability to survive everything thrown at them. After the war, Simo didn't seek the spotlight. He became a national hero, celebrated in Finland and eventually worldwide. But he returned to a quiet life in the countryside, spending his days farming, hunting, and fishing. Despite his reputation as one of history's deadliest snipers, Simo was a humble man. When he spoke publicly, which he rarely did, he downplayed his accomplishments, saying that he only did what he had to serve his country. Really, a truly great man, I think we can all agree. And you got to respect the kind of the humbleness of someone who achieves so much, but just doesn't care for the fame. Really do respect that. Simo lived a long life, passing away on April 1st, 2002, at the age of 96. His story has since become part of military legend. The techniques he developed, such as using iron sights to reduce his profile, creating snowbanks for concealment, and managing his breath vapour, are still studied by military historians and snipers today. Simo's story is more than just one of incredible skill with a rifle. His legacy is a story of resilience, patriotism, and willingness to fight against overwhelming odds. He was, in every sense, a guardian of his homeland, and to this day, he remains a symbol of courage, discipline, and unmatched dedication. For the soldiers who faced him, he was a phantom in the snow, the deadly, the silent, the White Death. Thank you for watching this video, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy, and massive respect to Simo Häyhä, a true legend, and personally one of my favourite people of World War II, and possibly my favourite person ever. Take it easy, guys.